why I'm piggybacking off of. That's why I started the entitlement title with that first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I'm gonna shoot it back to my man,
yeah.
the skip off, because he can go into detail. And we're gonna get back to entitlement, but this is just one level of it. First of all.
Yeah. People have a knack about them where they feel as though you may owe them something, or like you said, entitlement. I don't understand how you can be far removed from a person's life for so long, and then they just come back into your life, and then all of a sudden it's supposed to pick up where you left off at.
Welcome to Campfire Talk, the podcast show, aka CNT Podcast. Once again, there's no need, you know who I am, Elefante, and adjacent to me, my trusty pal, the skip off. I'd like to give greetings to all our viewers, watchers, you understand? And salutations to all our extended ones. But anyway, today's topic is entitlement. Entitled, with that word entitlement, that entitled comes in a lot of categories. You know what I mean? We all been blessed with God's qualities, right? Some of us have been blessed with, physical beauties, with the external part of it also.
Word.
I want to talk about that part of entitlement, first of all. Like, I don't know. You might know a girl or a female woman back in the days or now. She's so pretty. She get what she wants. You know what I'm saying? And she's so used to that, though. She thinks that she's entitled to anything, no matter what the circumstances are, no matter where you are, no matter how long you have seen her. She just thinks that she's entitled to whatever. She may ask you for some money, not having seen you in 10, 15 years, just because he thinks he's entitled. You know what I'm saying? Me and my man had a conversation about this the other day.
Word.
And he was talking about that because I guess he came into contact with a person like that. So that's why I'm piggybacking off of. That's why I started the entitlement title with that first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I'm gonna shoot it back to my man,
Yeah.
the skip off, because he can go into detail. And we're gonna get back to entitlement, but this is just one level of it. First of all.
Yeah. People have a knack about them where they feel as though you may owe them something, or like you said, entitlement. I don't understand how you can be far removed from a person's life for so long, and then they just come back into your life, and then all of a sudden it's supposed to pick up where you left off at 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 15 years ago, and stuff like that. People change day for day, minute for minute, month for month, year for year. You know what I mean? But you have some people that really think that things are supposed to go their way. Well, a lot of selfish, spoiled people that they just feel as though. Let me give you an example. Just say, if a person asks you for a favor, now it's to your discretion if you want to give it to them or not. But at the end of the day, it's to your discretion. Now, if you tell that person no, that person will probably appear not to have an attitude, but some more than likely, people that feel as though they had that sense of entitlement, they will wear their emotions and their feelings on their shirt. Anyway, you will be able to tell if that person and their feelings behind the answer that you gave them, which isn't the answer that they wanted. You know what I mean? So, it's just so many dimensions to this entitlement thing. People entitled with relationships, entitled with kids thinking that they can just do what they want to do, entitled all over the place. You know what I mean? Like every day you might deal with somebody that's selfish, that feel as though things are supposed to go their way, but at the end of the day, like people have to stand up and just be frank with them. No. And I don't care about how you feel, how you look at things, how you think that things should be, because it's you. No, you're not built that way. The only person that's entitled to anything is you, for you. And then the people that's around you that you're supposed to take care of. And then you can trickle that down to whatever you want to trickle it down to. You know what I mean?
Yes. Okay, with that part right there, I want to talk about the entitlement of, I got a lot of friends, family that's incarcerated. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk about them thinking that when they're in the can or whatever, however, they just think that when they can call home or whatever, reach out to anybody, anyone, whoever, they probably not haven't even spoken with you in up 10 years or whatever. Or even, just thinking that when they call you, it's supposed to be on.
Yeah.
Get a few dollars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing
Yeah.
wrong with that, but just don't make that the brunt of the conversation like you're entitled to that. You know what I'm saying? Even with their family members, they be the same way to their family members and have an attitude with their family members.
Yeah.
Might act all stank to their mother or their loved ones or their girlfriend. They think their girlfriend's supposed to do their whole bit with them. I'm entitled for her to, hold me down.
Yeah.
No, you're not. You gotta remember you put yourself in there.
Word.
First of all, you know what I'm saying? That's another part of the entitlement. You know what I mean? I've been incarcerated before. I have found myself in that predicament of thinking that, when I call home to talk to my mother, rest in peace, or my brother ask for some money, supposed to get it right there and then because I'm in the can. I can't do for myself, which I can do for myself. I did for myself to get myself in there. This is just a part of the level of the incarcerated people. You're not entitled to anything that you want when you call home or you reach out to think somebody right there at your beck and call. It doesn't go down like that. You know?
Word.
There goes a part of you being selfish.
Word.
Again,
Yeah.
That's just that part right there.
And then you can add on to that and go a different direction though. You have people that might do something for you with the hidden agenda of getting something in return double time, triple time, quadruple time. You know what I'm saying? As
it goes on and on and on because at one time they did that
because of
for
that one
situation
that they did. So they feel as though they're entitled to get this or you to do this or whatever. No. You're not entitled to anything, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes, the only obligation that a person should have, like I said, is to themselves first, because you have to save yourself first. You know what I mean? I always tell people, like, if you in a life raft, right, and you have you and a baby in the life raft, and the life raft flip over, but you're able to get back on the life raft, and you and the baby is in the water. Who do you save first, the baby or yourself? More than likely, people are going to save the baby. Okay, so if you save the baby, right? Now, what if the baby lives and you die, but the baby's on the raft? What do you think going to happen eventually? The baby's going to, you have to save yourself. So that's why I always say that. You have to save yourself first, then you get the baby, because people don't realize babies swim in the water for 9 months. So the baby automatically know how to float and swim.
Hey, yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I like how you giving it exemplified that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. Because how can you save anybody if you don't save yourself?
You have to save
that
yourself.
Goes back to, I don't want to veer off from the top, but that goes back to saying that I'm doing people that's in jail or whatever. Nobody, whatever somebody says you want to get off of drugs, they say I'm gonna do this for my family.
Right.
How you gonna do it for your family? You gotta do it for you first before you can even do it for your family.
Right.
Goes back to what you're saying. Yo, another part of this entitlement thing is people who grew up being entitled out of a household. They might have came from a wealthy family, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And therefore that could make them feel that they're entitled no matter what. When they step out their house, they just feel they're entitled because they've been like that. That's part of being spoiled.
Right.
Like you said, no matter where they at, job site, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whoever, they don't even gotta know you, but they feel as though that they're entitled to you to move out of their way, let them cut you. You ever been in a grocery store, people just cut you? That's the people that's entitled. That's entitlement people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Privilege.
Yeah. All cans up.
Whatever hue, privilege.
Yeah, whatever hue.
And it all depends on the geographics of the hue.
Yeah.
Color, where you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where you are in a geographical level. Because you can be in Hartford, that'll never happen. But if you go to Torrington somewhere, it might happen. You know what I'm saying? You might get into something like that. But people do have a problem with that sense of entitlement, and a lot of people that also have that problem are people that were raised basically like single kids. A lot of single kids may have that sense of entitlement when people spoil them and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So they come up thinking that things are supposed to be a certain way when it's not. You know what I mean? People don't know the real world. Things can get snatched up right from up under your feet so fast. You know what I mean? Like,
blink of an eye, baby.
Yeah, people have to understand. People should have an understanding that when you're dealing with entitlement is something that you earn. Not something that people just won't give to you like that. You have to earn that stuff. You have to earn that entitlement. You have to work for that entitlement. You got to give people just as much as you want to give. You just can't just go into a situation thinking that this is how it's supposed to be. I'm supposed to get this. I'm supposed to get that. And you don't get nothing. You know how you have relationships where people might think that the dude might be the one that, trick on a girl and do this and that, but the girl for like only thing, I'm having sex with him, so that's good enough. But there's other things that come into play. So if as long as people have that stigma, that mindset of they're the one, they're the end all be all, it'll never be no balance in any type of relationship, especially when a person is.
I'm going to piggyback off of what you just talking about with the single children in the household and things of that nature. With that being said, do you think that the parents, for doing that, they're reprehensible for that because they never, showed their kid about, the outside world, about not being like that when you leave the nest or whatever? Do you think the parents will be reprehended for that? They're reprehensible. They blame a little in the system in some kind of way.
Yeah, that's totally the blame. Sometimes things be instilled in people.
Yeah.
Learn behavior. People learn things by what they see, what they see and what's done around them. You know what I mean? So people usually, especially little kids, they sponge all of that stuff up. They tend to like mimic everything they see. And then you have, parents that will probably, when it's a single child, will probably like spoil that kid more. Or it can be a house full of kids, and then the youngest one might reap the better benefits than all the other ones. But it's a trial and error situation when it comes to like having kids, 1 kid, 2 kids, 3 kids, 4 kids. You might mess up on the first one. You may not do right with that first one. Being that you don't know any better than the second one. It's all trial and error. You learn as you go. But then when the last one, the youngest one, come around, that one might be the one that you might give the most attention to, the most whatever. You might splurge on that one a little bit more. Then you have people that look back, like family members or other people that look back and be sick to their stomach. But then that kid grow up without balance because that kid think that that's what it is. You know what I mean? And this is just not to talk about children. This is on all levels. Even when you go to work, you have some people that might feel like they've been on a job longer than you, so they should be, able to do things a little bit more to you. And sometimes it is the case. But if you don't know your job, you don't know your job. Somebody might come in that know how to do the job better and know how to, you know what I mean? So that person might get upset because you moving better than them. You know what I mean? You know how that goes.
Yeah, yeah.
Just think about when we used to work at the warehouse. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
when we worked there. Man, people, what was it? There was like, people was mad at me because of how I was moving in that warehouse. And what ended up happening? They cut me short. You know what I mean? No reason. Just call me in the office.
But that go back to the hue too at the same time.
Yes, they're more than likely.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, but it's wild, man.
I'm gonna flip it for a minute on the title because I'm gonna flip it on the entitlement. Like, let me exemplify something. Like how we neighborhood. You might have I'm gonna use a girl for example. A girl, she might have been promiscuous in the neighborhood. Everybody know her. Anytime they pull up, anybody in the neighborhood pull up. Get in. She get in. You run up on her. You grab her up. You can feel her no matter where you at. You know what I'm saying? So 20 years later, you see her again with that same attitude. Like, now she backing you down. Like, no, you can't. What you mean? That's her fault because she gave you the entitlement to do that to her.
Word.
That's the flip side of it all. You see what I'm saying? She might be married, but I don't care how long ago you ain't seen her. I have come in encounter with that type of stuff. Like I seen a chick that I might know, a female, run up on her because it always been like that. She put me in a place where I felt that I was entitled to do that to her. Everybody else around her way also.
Yeah, but then
you get what I'm saying. But that's her. I'm just saying. I'm putting it on the other side.
Yeah, but then that's you having that sense of entitlement, right?
She gave that to everybody, not just me.
But then we just talked about it in the beginning. You far removed. You was removed out of her life for up 10 years.
Yeah.
Now you're removed out of her life. She changed. So expect change. You change. You might think that you're the same, but you change.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So people have to have more respect for that type of situation. People, especially when there's absence. When there's a lot of absence, you don't know who is who and what is what at in these days and times. People don't know who doing what. So you can't think that you can run up on me because I've known you for 30 years and think that we're the same people. We're
Exactly.
not the same. I am not the same. Don't run up on me thinking for 1 second that we are who we were back in 92, who we were in 88. I am not that.
True.
I'm every bit of a half a century coming
Yo,
up. So we're not going to play these games. I'm not going to play with you. You're going to get every bit of the cold shoulder. Once I see you trying to think that you're entitled to something, I'm going to give you the cold shoulder. And if you keep on pressing, we're going to go somewhere different. You know what I mean? And that's just that. It's just the way I feel about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Go ahead, bro.
That's that flip side I was saying. Like, yo, you and I, you know, and we come from the streets or whatever. And, you know, we have been around a lot of, you know, people that was on the opposite side of what we was doing that know us. And anytime, you know, I'm out of the game, you out of the game, whatever. But when they see us, they still, that's the flip side of the entitlement. They still think that we have it or whatever, or they make themselves entitled to us. Like when they see us, like you just said, let me get $30. I know you got it, huh? You know what I'm saying? And, yo, why you even ask me that? What happened to the conversation? You just run up on me, just see me asking for $30, like you just said. That can have you on some other stuff like, yo, I go to work, you know,
and this is
I ain't gotta explain nothing to you what I do.
And this is not something, not to cut you off, bro,
No,
this is not something that I want people to feel like I'm targeting at certain people. This is just generally speaking because overall dudes do have love and, you know, a liking and respect and, you know, hold honor for certain people and stuff like that, of course, at the end of the day. But everybody don't get that treatment. Everybody didn't put footprints on your heart like that. If I've known you and we were fair weather friends, and people look it up. If you don't know what fair weather friend means, look it up, man.
Check it out.
Understand what that fair weather friend means. You know what I mean? Ask somebody that know the difference. You know what I'm saying? And then don't mistake my term of endearment to be true. That might be just me being respectful. Me being, you know what I mean, having a little, you know, courtesy to be nice and, you know, and try to make, you know, things, soften things out a little bit.
Yes.
But don't think for 1 second that gives you the sense of entitlement to come at me and think that I'm supposed to do this for you or make an offer to me for your benefit. You know what I mean? Because people do that too. People will come to you and make an offer to you for their benefit. It's benefiting them, not you. At the end of the day, but they want you to see it their way. No, it's the other way. That's simple.
Yo, with the entitlement, for some people, yo, that can be sort of a narcissist trait too, you know?
Word.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? By narcissist, you know,
Word.
people caught up in themselves.
Word.
Like you may have fellas, what I'm gonna do with the guys, like guys have probably been in the position, you know, to have things, no matter how they got it, you know, the cars, the jewels,
Word.
you know, the praises from females. Oh, you know, nice guy, time you see them, you speak to them first. So now when they don't have that, or they still feel that they think they're entitled to you when you see them. They walk right by you, not even saying nothing to you. They expect you to say, yo, bro, I never even praised you, even when you are at all that. You know what I'm saying? But you will see a fella.
That might be the foolish pride they're dealing with.
Yeah, and
you know, thinking
that
that
too,
they
yeah,
still
that
somewhere that they, you know what I mean, like that's over with. You know?
Yeah, and we were talking about entitlement. We talking about, you know, for y'all that viewers, y'all might be going through some things like that though. You know what I'm saying? That y'all might have people that y'all knew a long time, or still dealing with people that think they're entitled, that y'all still dealing with though. Like, you know, every time we go out, this motherfucker here, pardon my language, this mother lover here, let me use a euphemism. Mother lover. That is a mild word. But anyway,
like, subscribe, thumbs up, please. Campfire Talk the podcast. Please press the like button, subscribe to us, and share. Go ahead, bro.
Going back to what I was saying though, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like you might even have a person that you're still dealing with that feel that they're entitled to when y'all go out or whatever y'all do, that they just don't have to do anything.
Wow.
Because of it, oh, I look better than all of us, girl. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That goes back to physical beauty, or not even just that. You know, you might have one of your friends out of the crew that might get y'all through a lot of things by just speaking well. And think, okay, what I got to do.
But then it's crazy, right? That it always be somebody who think that they that, but they don't be that.
Exactly.
Don't be that.
Oh, they wrapped up.
Can't get past that. You're not that. It's over. You're not who you were.
It's over.
That's a wrap. Somebody else is bleeding the pack now.
And accept that.
Accept it.
Be able to be able to follow. That don't mean you got to be a follower, but respect the path that you're in. Respect the lane that you're in. You know what I'm saying? Know your position. Play your position. That'll get you more life. That's when people who think they're entitled, they dealing with a lot of stuff internally, like you
Word.
said, yeah, selfish pride stuff. For real,
Yeah,
man, for real,
yeah.
for real, for real. They can never get past that. Yo, and that's a sad situation. See, we get things. We sit here, we think very deeply.
Right.
Trust us.
And as long as people do the same things, they're going to expect the same result.
You know how that goes.
So if you around people that just do the most minuscule thing all the time, just the same old routine, they loop their life. Their life is looped. It's just something that's on repeat all the time. As long as they're doing the same thing, they're going to expect you to get caught up in that thing right there. You're not dealing with no, like I said, when you're dealing with the 360, you're supposed to be trying to get knowledge of self out of the 360, but people just be trying to get your knowledge, understanding of what we be talking about, man. You know what I mean? So I think the next time we need to start breaking things down to people and let people know when we're talking what we really mean. We're going to do all types of stuff like that. We're going to get these people on a level that we all should be on. We're growing just like we want you guys to grow too. A lot of people won't see things because the movement is just so common. They be dealing with so much common stuff, so they slide in, get in where they fit in, and they just move with the crowd.
They content with that.
You know what I'm saying? But the person that's moving you don't even know where they going. You know what I'm saying? They don't even know where they're going. And I'm telling this honest truth. They don't really know. But they're just moving because that's what they used to doing.
And they
loop. They used to doing their loop. Yo, listen. Bro, hold up. I'm going to let you tear this shit up. Skirt park, bro.
I ain't about to say nothing.
But listen, bro. I'm telling you right now, as long as people jump in that circle right there, and it comes back to 360, and then you got to realize at the end of the day that they're not dealing with the knowledge of self. They're not growing. They're not trying to grow and know who they are. They're going to always stay in that loop. And then that person that feels as though they're entitled will always win. Because they will always be able to veer you to their speed.
Because you'll find a lot that want to be.
Because again, like I said, man, move with caution with me. When I'm in my lane, do not switch over without using your signal light. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you switch over in the lane that you're not supposed to be in, accidents happen. You know what I mean? So people will get in your way and do what they want to do because they feel as though they're supposed to roll, they're supposed to lead the pack, they're supposed to do this and that. But they're really not the people that's supposed to be leaders. The leaders are the ones that the people gravitate more to, the ones that the people love more. Those are the people that are the leaders. Look at the history. It tells a story, man. People got to start following things and look at history to learn where you're going. Because if we start from the middle, where we going? It got to be a beginning. It got to be a middle, and it got to be a destination.
1, 2, 3. Now let's understand it.
And understanding is the best part. It precedes the true essence of what you're dealing with. Believe me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you something right now that's real spill. The people that think they're entitled, if they're not, expose them for them not being entitled. You have to give them the cold shoulder. You have to start telling them what it is at the end of the day. Do not let people run up, over, around, under you, because as long as they feel as though they can, they're going to keep looping it over and over and over again to get what they need and what they want to go for.
Hey, yo, you see how you just broke that down about you just broke that everything down about the leaders who have always been in a position to be entitled to people following them.
Right.
Well, we did it, but I just want to go back to see the people that you're following who think they're entitled to you following them and doing it. And they're followers.
Word.
They became leaders without a path.
Word.
Because they followers.
Word.
I ain't never been a follower. My guy ain't never been a follower. I might have followed people, but I wasn't a follower. See the difference. You gotta know that. But anyway, pertaining to that, but anyway, what I was about to say.
But you leading your kids though.
Yeah, but I'm not a follower.
So whatever you followed at one time.
When I said follower.
I'm saying whatever you followed at one time, being a follower. At one time, you had to follow something.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whatever you followed, you build off of that. You gained the knowledge on that. And you illustrated or you
said it right.
You integrated that into your lifestyle.
My foundation.
So now you dealing with you raising your family to be leaders, but they have to follow you first.
Yes, exactly.
To become a good leader.
Exactly.
You have to be an excellent follower. That's what I mean.
And a great person.
Word.
And anyway, with that being said, like what I was just trying to say something, but I lost my phone before.
I apologize,
but I'll get right back at it. But like I'm saying, like from a street perspective, you know, you and I, right? Like how you broke everything down about that leader and all of that.
Right.
We could have, we could have put ourselves in positions where we could have been entitled. We could have made ourselves entitled and made everybody just get everything for everybody. It made people just think they been entitled to, like, yo, I need you to give me this, need you to give me that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying on the street perspective, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We could have put ourselves in a position to be entitled. That's what, because who we were and what we held. You know what I mean? And who we, like I said, who we were and what we held. We could have made ourselves entitled. Like every time we come around, we expecting anything from somebody that's on the block or whatever.
Even though, like, and then it carries
you know what I'm saying?
on.
It carries on.
It carries on.
30 years later,
30 years later, you feel like you're entitled.
When I come around, before better gather around, me gravitate to me.
Man,
you know what I'm saying?
You will be surprised at a lot of, like, you know, you accumulate a lot of people that you would probably consider, we use the word loosely, friends. You know what I mean? Yeah. But at the end of the day, it would really be associates, acquaintances. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Insulated because of the block. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You
know, stuff like that. So when you have people that move like that, and they think that they're friends, they think that they're your friend, or that's my boy, or that's my girl, they feel as though they're entitled to get certain things out of you. They're entitled for you. They expect you to do certain things. I done had situations where I seen a dude in the past and gave him my number, and then he calling me, now you calling me, you using me for your benefit. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person that one hand washes the other, and like my mom said, listen, man, it takes two hands to clap, man, to make noise, man, because if you're doing this, you know that's noise, right? So move a hand away from it. You can't make no noise doing that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to do something that's going to be a common bond with each other, that we have some understanding to build together, something that, you know, you can be cool with people, you can accommodate people and do a lot of things for people, but people would use that. They would burn it to the ground, using and abusing the situation. That sense of entitlement. They think that that's how it's supposed to be. And the minute that you tell them no, is when they go and they talk about you to the next person. They go lead you on the next person and start talking about you. And then when that person get it messed up with them, they're going to go and talk about it with them. You know how that thing
on and on.
That's a main rotation. Man.
Yes, it is. Hey, yo, but that's why nowadays, like you just said, we're friends and we're cool and I'm real. Nah, those words are out of that terminology. Y'all use everything got to be literal with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's why when I talk and I say boy, female, male, man, listen, I mean that you need to know who you are. I don't care if you're 50 years old. If you're not in the man position, you're not a man. You're still a boy. Right. However, everything is literal with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that word real, like you always talk about break. Use
that
word real. I'm just saying though.
I don't use it because it's subjective.
It's just easy. It's just a fact. It's a phase now.
I'm real.
That's why I had a podcast.
I keep real.
That's why the Soul's podcast was about words.
Right.
I'm tired of that stuff. But anywho, you know, we about to disembark from this here poddy, P-O-D-D-Y podcast. But at the same time, entitlement, y'all going through a situation where y'all still dealing with people who think they're entitled to just, you know, think that you got to do for them because of their physical features or because of their mental adept, you know what I'm saying, or however, because they, you know, they might have a lot of superficial stuff, material things. Their cars might get you through places or whatever. Yo, don't bow down to that. You know what I'm saying?
Make your own lane.
Exactly.
Drive at your own pace so you can stop and go when you want to. Check out Campfire Talk, the podcast. We air every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Like, share, and subscribe. And like I always tell you, shoot for the universe and the stars, because most of these suckers only want to shoot for the street lights, because that's as far as they can go. And with that being said, knowledge, together.
Let me get him a thought for the day.
That means
brother.
peace.
Hold up.
Baby.
Don't do the peace shit until I get a thought for the day. You heard? Thought for the day, yo. It's pertaining to the people that's entitled, think they're entitled. When a person is wrapped up in themselves, they make a pretty small package.
Say it again, brother.
When a person is wrapped up in themselves, they make a pretty small package.
Hold on, and they might think that they say sometimes what they say about the small packages. Big things come in small packages and stuff. You know how that's saying?
Yeah.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Sometimes you might be a zonk. That's it. The fuck out of here. Yeah, I said it.
That bigger things come in small packages. Yo, once again, put it together. Integration for your black nation.
Peace.